What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about American Horror Stories episode 5 entitled Ball. And just like always, we're not going to be holding out on any spoilers. In fact, we're going to be doing a very brief rundown on everything that happened in this episode before we get to my thoughts. So do me a favor, and before we get into all of this, share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, like this video, and share it out to all your friends who might want to talk about American Horror Stories or American Horror Story Double Feature or anything else related to this specific series, because one of the reasons I do cover this show is because it's just one of my favorites on television, even if I don't like every specific episode. So right off the bat, we're introduced to Billie Lourd's Liv and Ronan Rubenstein's Matt, who are a married couple trying their best to have a baby. We get a sense very early on that Liv and Matt have been trying this for several years and nothing has really come to pass. Lo and behold, we have our answer and our catalyst into the story when Virginia Gardner's Bernadette character gives Liv a totem, which is supposed to allow her to conceive after putting the totem under her bed and doing the deed. And at least for me, yes, so far so good. It's a little bit of a clunky beginning. One of the reasons I have a big problem with American Horror Story or even American Horror Stories is it's not really American. Like, I get the fact that it's all happening in the North American continent, but pretty much everything that happens in this show or even in the spinoff is all taking place in California. Like, literally, California is not all of America, and the fact that they keep doing this every single season and every single iteration of the story is starting to get a little bit annoying, especially when we're 10 seasons out. Additionally, I can't be the only one who is thinking to myself at the beginning of this episode, wait, did Billie Lourd even really show up to set? I mean, this is the same actress that gave us Montana, Mallory, Winter, and all the other seasons that she's been in American Horror Story. In this episode, she just doesn't feel all the way there. Like, there's just so much missing there in terms of where her emotional state is. It's always just deadpan, flat, and not really emoting anything that she's feeling. And at the beginning, I just kept kind of thinking to myself, this has to be for a reason. Like, she's going to end up being the main villain of this entire episode. And I guess, we'll get there, but that's kind of right. It just feels weird, unearned, and just doesn't make sense with where the episode went and how this character played out. Anyway, getting back to the story breakdown, when Liv and Matt have their little night of fun, 16 months later, they have their baby Aaron, which, okay, totally fine. I get what they're doing there. It's just the fact that she forgot about the totem there for 16 months. Like, you would imagine that would be the first thing on her mind as soon as she got pregnant after that specific night. And she would know that it had to be that specific night because she did it, and then she got pregnant. That was the thing that she was kind of hoping on. They just got done with a round of fertility treatments. They weren't going to see the person for 8 weeks after that. It just didn't really make any sense to me. Like, oh yeah, by the way, I totally forgot about this, even though I'd been trying for 2 years. None of that makes sense. And oh my god, as soon as she notices it, instead of throwing it away like she's talking to it, like, I should have just thrown you away, she puts it in a shoebox and in her closet. Like, why? I don't understand. If you'd forgotten about it, you didn't think it had anything to do with your baby, then why keep it as a memento? Just throw it away. It's contradicting itself, and it's really dumb. And almost immediately, we're dealt with the fact that Liv no longer wants to be a mother, despite the enthusiasm or lack thereof that she showed at the very beginning of the episode. And not only that, but her stereotypical Mexican housemaid who is just there to clean up every day but takes care of her kid anyway is somewhat attuned to everything that's going on here. And as soon as the demon ball starts showing up and making a presence of itself, oh my gosh, she knows exactly what's going on and she's going to run away terrified. Oh, one of the things that I do have to mention is just how effective the first jump scare in the episode was when she's looking at the demon through the video monitor. I love that. In fact, that was one of the best things of the entire episode. Anyway, before anything else of significance can happen, we have to go back to Matt and realize that now not only is he a struggling actor, but he's one struggling actor with potential to get some actual speaking lines in the near future on network television. And that's causing him to work nights and not be there for his wife when she is going through some emotional turmoil. So instead of doing the right thing for his family and staying with her for the good of the family, he gives her a psychiatrist, Dr. Berger, who tells her that she's not really crazy and tells her that she could fix everything with a couple of herbal teas, drugs, and just some soothing vibes. But even though all that stuff helps for a minute, everything comes crashing down again when Liv starts experiencing some weird stuff happening around the house. From baby monitor spook scares to mist coming from inside the house, and then some creepy audio recorded on the baby monitor, we see Liv go into a bit of a spiral that causes her to become more and more erratic. This all comes to a head when she finally confronts Bernadette's character in order to give her some kind of out for the demon that's apparently haunting her entire family and once her child. But the one thing I'm going to hyper focus in on here is that we get a freaking Ouija board scene. And oh my god, guys, I have to say, I know American Horror Story is supposed to be funny, but it is one of the biggest shows in one way or another on television right now. And it has to just appeal to most people. And most people know what a Ouija board is, and they're okay with this. But honestly, it was just one of the worst parts of this entire episode, and I have to say, one of the worst things in the entire series. Look, I can't be the only one who's sitting there watching them have this party in Matt's honor and thinking to myself, oh my god, please don't bring out a Ouija board. Oh my god, please, please, please. And then they do. No. That was bad. It was dumb. And I really feel like American Horror Story is better than this. I get why it's not, but it should be. And that's one of the weirdest things about this. Anyway, from there, Liv gets some kind of information about this demon named Baal from Bernadette, who originally gave her the totem in order to conceive the child in the first place. But it turns out that Bernadette is actually sleeping with Matt, and all of his friends were in on this from the very beginning in order to make Liv look crazy, get her in an institute, and then take all of her money. I have to say, fantastic twist, because I wasn't sitting here thinking about it. I was too focused in on this is a really dumb story that's playing out in the most obvious way possible and not racking my brain very hard for any type of major twist that would be coming. The problem with all of this is, as soon as we know the twist and exactly what's going on, they throw everything up in the air and say, yeah, Baal exists. Liv summoned him again from the insane asylum because she got that one page, even though that doesn't make sense because we never saw her do it. Then she makes sure that Baal kills all of Matt's friends while leaving him alive, making him the main focus of any murder investigation. Then she breaks all of this down to the demon that wants nothing more than to be let go, and then forces him to impregnate her again at the very end. Again, a really cool idea, and one that would work if Billie Lourd showed up to this episode, because she's just nothing throughout the entire thing until those last couple of seconds. All in all, just a really strange direction for this entire episode, and I'm not entirely sure what they wanted to do with it. I liked last week's episode because it was simple, and we knew exactly what we were dealing with and who we were rooting against throughout the entire thing, because it had some grasp on reality. But this episode, I think it plays too many angles way too quickly, and the fact that we have a twist on top of a twist in a 49-minute episode only makes those two twists that much less impactful, or at least that's just me. But I'm going to leave it there. This is already long enough as it is. Guys, tell me what you think about this episode. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. I hope everyone's enjoying the series thus far. I have to say, now that we're just a couple of episodes away from the end of this particular run of this series, I know we're going to be getting another part of it sometime down the line. But man, I'm starting to really look forward to Double Feature, because I feel like the main show just is better. The fact that it's a longer form story. Plus, one of the things I feel like a lot of people are talking about recently is that American Horror Story starts out really strong and then kind of falls off halfway through because the story has a natural endpoint, but it just keeps going. If they're going to break a season into two parts, then maybe it can start strong, go strong in the middle, and end strong, and we would have probably one of the best seasons since maybe season 3. We're going to have to wait and see. I hope everyone has had a fantastic day, staying safe and healthy with everything else going on in the world right now. Talk to you later. It's been real.